As if the Armada minicons weren't MacGuffins already, three groups in particular stand out: the air defense, race, and space teams. Not only did each trio merge into some of the most effective armament in the series, but in a sense, those weapons played something of a key role in the final arc of the show, which I won't spoil for you, even though that's kinda hard at this point. I've covered the corrupted air defense minicons. This time I'm reviewing the race team: Dirt Boss, Downshift, and Mirage. This set was released as part of Wave 2 of the minicon assortment. I know because said wave seems to have a thing for minicons with bright yellow plastic. Can't let Hotshot hog it all now, can we? But as I've said previously, it makes sense on flashy sports and race vehicles. It's another set with a mostly unified deco. Outside of the yellow, the varying greys serve as a primary colour. All three sport traces of black, and even on toys this small, they manage to work in decals for Dirt Boss and Downshift. The actual alt modes are rough approximations of a Volkswagen Lupo for Dirt Boss, a Le Mans racer for Downshift, and an Indy racer for Mirage. Naturally, certain details are either changed or simplified to avoid paying royalties. The spoiler on Downshift is a different style. Mirage's nose canards are completely swept back, whereas with most Indy cars, they're either only partially so or completely straight. And as for Dirt Boss, aside from the spoiler being a solid piece, I think they're relying more on the numerous transformation seams to get around licensing. Consequently, Dirt Boss has the weakest alt mode, whereas on the other two, the seams are either obscured by the darker grey, or the kind you'd find on the actual cars to begin with. Though as disguises go, Mirage's head is there for all to see. Otherwise, they look decent. And that's where most of the positives end. Well, for each member. The robot modes range from mildly flawed to god-awful. Firstly, yes, Mirage bears a striking resemblance to Armada Starscream's minicon, Swindle. Yet he's a new mold, not a retool. They mostly transform the same, save for Mirage's waist rotation, and even a lot of the individual parts such as the spoiler and canards are different. I generally like the look of Mirage. The red face provides a nice visual pop, the rear wheels give him a powerful broad-shouldered silhouette, and the limbs are reasonably proportioned, though he's the only one of the trio without hands, not even etched inside. I can see they were going for a brawler persona with Dirt Boss, with how bulky he mostly is, and the fact that his arms only look decent curled up, like he's constantly picking fights, 'cause straightened out, ouch. And while all three have fairly generic heads, without any paint, Dirt Boss's is practically non-existent, though in his defense, there might be a reason for that. And as for Downshift, well, you know how I criticized Fall of Cybertron's Sideswipe for his humongous chest and narrow legs? I think we found the inspiration, only Downshift has gorilla arms on top of that. As expected for minicons, the articulation's nothing to brag about. Mirage's shoulders are hinged in two spots that allow inward-outward range in the arms. Again, the waist rotates, the hips splay in and out, and the ankles rock back and forth. For Dirt Boss, his upper arms are connected to his torso via hinges that only allow them to swing back and forth. The elbows and knees are also hinged, and the hips swivel vertically. Lastly, Downshift's head can move up and down a bit, though since the chest doesn't lock in, he can technically look up further. Each shoulder consists of a hinge and a ball joint, and the hips splay in and out. Suffice to say, most of their joints are more for transformation. All in all, from favourite to least, I'd pick Mirage, if only by a hair, followed by Dirt Boss, with Downshift last across the finish line. But yeah, not the best minicons. Can the combined modes save them? Presenting the Skyboom Shield. I actually like it a bit better than the Star/Darksaber, since the transformation feels more complete. Dirt Boss splits open vertically, and Downshift's arms wrap around the front of the car. It's like they actually tried to make this resemble something other than a hodgepodge of vehicles, though thanks to Mirage tacked on at the bottom in his alt mode, they only partially succeeded. Not helping is that there have been reports of Mirage falling off. My copy's okay, but it's something to look out for. By contrast, downshift clips on so tight, you're likely to pop his hips off their hinges when going back to the individual bots. For what it's worth, the shield itself is not a simple polygon. The wings give it a dynamic look, and thanks to the unified deco, the colours mesh together pretty well. In terms of wielding the shield, there's this handle made of Dirt Boss's head, hence the lack of painted features. They'd probably chip off. It doesn't make the head any better, but it's still understandable. Even then, with the Minicom ports, it can also plug onto corresponding pegs on any of the larger toys. It works a treat with the Armada hoist mold, which ingeniously has a peg in the palm of its left hand. Finally, there's a quote-unquote jet mode that's literally just the shield with the handle stowed away. Yeah, me neither. Overall, the Skyboom shield's kinda cool, and makes a nice companion piece to either saber. However, the race team, while fine in their alt modes, are pretty subpar as robots, at least in appearance. The low articulation is forgivable on figures this small, but at the same time, there are more posable minicons out there. If you want these molds but don't care for the colours, there's always the Road Assault team, which, yes, is the race team corrupted. Dirt Boss looks sweet, not gonna lie. But as for the original set, it gets a bronze. Hope you're all enjoying the holidays. Here's to a better year for all in 2021.